This is the bunting that I'm going to show you how to make in this tutorial. I've made it with a hessian in the background and used free motion embroidery to embroider all around the hearts. So it gives the bunting a really organic, rustic kind of feel. And of course bunting isn't just for special occasions. This is something that you can decorate your garden with in the summertime. It could be a celebration for a birthday party or a Valentine's Day or Mother's Day, but I don't think this is the kind of bunting that's going to go away after the event. I think this is going to be embellishing your home all year round, no matter what room it's in. Now it's very, very simple to make and it's quite quick, and the beauty of working with a hessian like this and having the raw edges on your applique means you don't have to be absolutely perfect. So it's a great, quite quick project for a beginner as well. So there are 8 pennants on my bunting, and that makes up around about 2 meters of cord. You could of course space them out even further and make a little bit more if you wanted to, or add more or less of the pennants. That's entirely up to you. So let's just pop this to one side and we'll get sewing. Now I've cut out all of my hessian pieces. So I've put the pattern over the top here where it's folded and cut to a point at the bottom. Then each one of these pieces has been folded in half and pressed. Now hessian frays a lot, so later on I'm going to do a zigzag stitch all around the edge. If you like that frayed look, then that's entirely up to you. You can jolly well keep it. Right, and then the hearts, I've cut out the hearts onto a heat and bond fusible sheeting backing. If you don't have the backing, you can use some 505 spray or a spray glue or a glue stick just to hold those in place, but you will find it easier to hold them onto the hessian while you're stitching using some kind of adhesive rather than pinning. And the beauty of using something like heat and bond is that it stops the fabric from fraying, but it's also a really strong adhesive, so you don't have to embroider around the hearts if you don't want to. So let's pop these on. So I find it easy to use a pair of tweezers. Just fold the edge of the paper back and peel it off. If it's really stubborn, then you can scratch the middle of the paper and lift it up here. As you peel the paper away, you'll see a shiny surface. That's actually the adhesive. So this is going to be plonked in the centre of the pennant. Whoops, and I'm putting this about ½ an inch or an inch actually from the bottom point. The reason being, the cord's going to go through the top and I'm going to stitch along the edge of the cord, so I don't want to stitch through the heart, so we need to keep that nice and clear. So just use a hot iron. This is really quick. And iron in place. Then we'll do the same with the heart on the opposite side. Might be quite nice to put initials on here as well, particularly if it is for a special birthday or to somebody special. There you go. And I've chosen reds and pinks for all of my hearts, but of course you could use any fabric that you like. It's a great way of using up your scraps. So there we are. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to free motion embroider all around the edge. If you're not very confident about free motion embroidery, you could just sew. You could hand sew even. That would look really nice, maybe with a blanket stitch. So I've taken my standard foot off my sewing machine and I've put the free motion embroidery foot on, and I've taken the feed dogs down, and then let's just get sewing. So there's the one side, just snip that away. And we do the same on the opposite side. Oops, foot down. And that's finished. And you need to repeat that of course for all of your pennants, but that's how we're looking. There we go, both sides like that. Okay, so I've already finished up all of my other pieces. And there we go. and I've got different types of fabric on each one of the hearts. So again, if you've got lots of fabrics all of the same colour, then that's going to make a really nice look for your bunting. Okay, so I'm going to take off the free motion foot from my sewing machine and put the standard foot back on again. Change the colour of the thread, and then we're going to zigzag stitch around the edge of each one of the pennants. Now, by using the same colour thread as the Hessian, you're not going to actually see the stitches, which is what I wanted. So you won't be able to tell that this is sewn. But it will keep your bunting looking a little bit neater, particularly if it is something that you're going to be bringing out year after year, or you want it to last a long time, or even if you're going to sell what you're making. So any of the frayed edges that are still popping out as they are here as I'm sewing, I can simply trim those away, and then they're not going to fray any further. Let's round to the point again. It will make the Hessian kind of shrivel up a little bit, but we can iron that flat afterwards, so don't worry about that. Coming up to the final side. And back to the beginning. There we go. Now, push that away, and again, these loose edges here, I can simply trim those back now, like so. Now it's time to put these around my cord. A little bit of glue will help here, just to hold them in place while I'm sewing. If you don't have wet glue, then maybe just a spray adhesive like your 505 would work. I'm just going to use a hot glue gun because it dries really quickly. So we're going to wrap the pennants around the cord, space them out nice and evenly. Oh, the cord I'm using, by the way, is a washing line. You could use piping cord, you could use a piece of ribbon, although it wouldn't be as substantial as using this cord. Or a piece of string, I think, would look really good with Hessian as well, and a very cost-effective way of making up your bunting. Actually, they look quite even first time there. Right, and then I'm going to just take my glue gun, put a drizzle of glue in the crease, lay the cord like so, and fold that over. And that's going to hold all of the pennants in place so that they don't slip while I'm sewing. Now, have a think as well about where you're going to hang your bunting, because you may want extra long pieces at the side. If you're going to tie between two trees in the garden, you may not want to see that your pennants go all the way into the trees. So add a little bit of extra cord there if you're going to hang it somewhere like that. Tell you what would look nice, just across the top of a window. Or in places like your kitchen and bathroom, if you've got a little half curtain or you want a little bit of privacy, then you just hang it halfway across the window. That'd look nice. Around bed heads, to decorate a room, cupboard doors, the pelmet across the top of your window. Loads of places you can use bunting. And I don't know, it's so cheery, isn't it? It's a very simple way of decorating your home. Okay, so let's move this out of the way. Almost finished. What I'm going to do now is to sew in a box. So I'm going to just sew a straight line, again in the same colour as the Hessian. I'm going to go underneath the cord here and then around the edges. So that's going to sew the two sides of the Hessian together. So just onto a straight stitch. What do I need to do? One. I'm going to move the needle over to the left hand side slightly so I can get nice and close to the cord, and then we'll sew. And again, because I'm using the same colour thread as the Hessian, It doesn't matter if my lines are a little bit wonky, because you won't see them. So I'm just going to trim away any more loose edges like so. Although it is quite in keeping with the frayed edges, I have to say, they do look quite nice. Oops. And there we go. My second set of bunting, all ready to decorate my home. I hope you enjoy making yours.